Hey, this is Lady, and today I am here to do my wrap up for the Booktubeathon and the 24 and 48 Readathon. So let's get into it. Originally, I was planning to do the 24 and 48 Readathon only. Because I tend to enjoy readathons where there are no specific books you have to read. But when I was planning my TBR for that readathon, I decided to look at the challenge video for the Booktubeathon, and I found quite a few of my books that I was planning to do in 24 and 48 actually met some of the challenges, so I figured why not. Both readathons was held in the same week. Booktubeathon started on July 18th through the 24th, and the 24 and 48 readathon was the 23rd and 24th of July. So let's get into the two books that I did not read from my original TBR that I posted last week, and those two books are right here. We have Tumbling by Diane McKinney Whetstone. This book was for the challenge to read a book I discovered thanks to Booktube. It's not due back at the library yet, so I'll be picking that one up before the week is out and reading it. Next over here we have, if I can point right, Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar is the book that I decided to choose that met the requirement to read a book to movie adaptation. Queen Sugar is going to be a television series. That's the reason I chose it. I didn't get to it. It's overdue at the library, so I'm taking it back today. But at some point, I'm sure I'll read it. So on to the books that I did read. First off, on Monday, I started out with Moss Volume 1 by Art Spiegelman. And I did not know until reading this book, picking it up, that this was copyright. The original copyright for this was 1979. So this met the challenge for reading a book that is older than me. But I was just reading it just to have a graphic novel. And their graphic novels are always a good choice for readathons. This one follows his parents' lives before the war and during the war up until they are captured and placed in Auschwitz. I believe that's the name of the concentration camp during the Holocaust where all the terrible things happened. So that's where this one ended. I found this book very interesting, and also the most interesting part, I would say, is such a heavy topic being discussed in graphic novel form. Pretty good. For the challenge to read a book by one of my favorite authors, I chose Bernice L. McFadden's Loving Donovan. This one, I have to say, it was just an okay read for me. Of all her other books I've read, which there's only one that I have not read. This one, I would say, would be in the bottom two. Donovan, it's real in the fact that these characters' lives and their reactions to things was definitely real life. So I won't blame me not liking the book on her writing. Her writing is always on point. It's just the characters. I mean, they got on my nerves essentially. And I don't know. I can't say that I liked anyone in this novel. For the challenge to read a book only after sunset, I went with another graphic novel, which is this one, Black Sad, Volume 4. This one, Black Sad, is a PI, and it's a mystery. He's always hired by someone to go find someone or check out something that didn't happen, and this one is no different. He is hired by someone to look for this jazz musician, and he's in New Orleans. As always, the pictures and everything is always gorgeous in this book, and that's what I think draws me to it all the time. So yeah, that was Volume 4. James is a graphic novel series that I discovered thanks to Booktube. So it meets that challenge for Booktubeathon, but this was not in my original TBR. On Thursday, I had some free time and I went to the library. And I read while I was at the library, and of course I looked around while in the library, saw this one, realized it was Volume 1, and decided to pick it up. I read it in one sitting, very cool, reads very much like a cartoon. I see why people like it, and you know, I may save the other volumes for other readathons. The book that I chose to read for the challenge, a book that is older than me, is Wallace Thurman's The Black of the Berry. This book was original copyright was in 1929, and this book discusses the colorism in the African American community. In 1929, it was very prevalent, excuse me, with a lot of people when it comes to passing for whites during that time, or when there were so many elite societies within the African American community where it was favored people of lighter skin. We follow Emma Lou, who is the darkest person in her family, and being a female, she grew up hearing her mother say, "I wish you had been a boy," because the life for a dark-skinned black woman, essentially, there's just no hope. And unfortunately, Emma Lou's life was just a manifestation of that. I think at some point she received some enlightenment, but not a lot. And she had self-hate, and she did a lot of things that other people did, and I don't even think she realized it, because every guy she wanted to talk to, he had to be light-skinned, or he had to be from the elite, and she didn't, you know, realize it. And you know, it's 2016, so many years later since this book was written. Unfortunately, it's still prevalent, and it's still a topic for discussion. I rather enjoyed it. I picked this up on Friday, and on Saturday morning I had about 75 pages left. So Saturday morning took me into the 24 and 48 readathon. I missed like the total first 12 hours because I went out Friday night and I slept late on Saturday morning. So I finished this on Saturday during the 24 and 48 readathon. Also on Saturday morning I picked up volume 2 of Moss by Art Spiegelman. And this one, I must say I enjoyed volume 1 a little bit better. This one did, again, such a heavy topic and graphic novel form, but I still think it gave it justice. It did. And I rather enjoyed the ending of this book. So after that, on Saturday, I picked up Homegoing. This book was on everybody's TBR for Booktubeathon because of the yellow cover. I really am enjoying this. This has 300 pages. I'm currently on page 243, a little over 50 pages left. But in one day's time, I was able to read about 80% of the book. And I gave it a go all the way to 12 midnight, but I did not finish it. But this one, if you don't know, this one follows the lineage of two sisters, both born in Africa. One is sent over in the slave trade, and the other one stays in Africa, and we follow their lineage all up to present day, or maybe to the 60s or 70s. So this book starts, I want to say, in the late 1700s or the early 1800s, and go all the way through 1960, 1970, somewhere in there. Wonderful read. Each generation is a different story. So in my opinion, this is like a collection of short stories. Yeah, you hear about the people from the previous one, but still it was like a collection of short stories to me. So, and I feel like I had like 3 more stories to go in this one. Also, during the last hour and a half of the readathon, to take a break from Homegoing, I went ahead and picked up the last volume of Black Sad. Black Sad, he thinking that, you know, I'm going to get out of this PI business and chill, but something comes looking for him. Something happens, and of course he has to go and investigate. It was really good, and like I just said, the art in this book is just so cute. I just love it. I just love all the different animals being people. So yeah, so I did finish that. Stats for the readathon: I read 5 graphic novels and 3 novels. Now, one of the novels I completed like 80%. So I'm gonna just say, hey, I read 3 novels and 5 graphic novels in 7 days. So I met all of the challenges almost. Well, yeah, except for one. For when it comes to Booktubeathon, since I didn't read a movie to book adaptation, but since I didn't read Tumbling, I had Lumberjanes that took the place of the book that I read thanks to Booktube. So I did meet all of the challenges pretty much except for one. For 24 and 48, I completed a total of 15 hours and 9 minutes of reading in a 48-hour time frame. That beat my previous time by 2 hours and some change in there, because the first time I did that readathon, I read for 12 hours and 43 minutes. So I had a wonderful reading month. I'm having a wonderful reading month for the month of July, outside of just what I read in 1 week, which was awesome, I feel. So that was it. I really enjoyed both of these readathons. I look forward to doing more. And if you participated, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to check out your videos to see what you read and see how you did. This is Lady, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.